It is award season in Hollywood right now, so all of these celebrities are flocking to the red carpet events, and they show up for these interviews on the red carpet, probably already tipsy, and they're not even that great when they're sober, but then they're served up the most enticing, juicy, scrumptious little bait question, and they always take the bait. So the most recent example of this is Natasha Lyonne on a red carpet, presented with a question about Donald Trump and what his victory means for, like, the country or for Hollywood or art or something. I don't even know. It doesn't matter, because she just took that question and ran with it and launched into this really bizarre rant with, I assume this is what she's trying to pass off as her real accent, like her actual affect. It comes off as very fake. And it just kept getting worse and worse until she said, "Won't someone think of the children who won't have access to abortion?"
Here we go.
Let's just dive right in.
You know what I think it is? I really do believe that a lot of these reporters fucking hate these actors.
Oh yeah, this is like one of my dream jobs.
Like, they love it.
Are you kidding? I would love to have this job. I would love to just set traps for
if
these
you
people.
were if you were one of those conservatives that really does hate the liberals and really does hate Hollywood, you wouldn't be going and working for The Blaze.
Oh yeah.
Or PragerU or Timcast. You would go work for Variety, and you would go undercover, and you'd be like, so what are your thoughts on this? And then insert whatever divisive question, like
a banana peel.
I'm imagining there's like somebody should actually make a movie about a guy, one of the things that Hollywood loves to do is valorize reporters who go undercover and they expose corruption. Make a movie about a really, really petty, self-serving journalist who went to school with some actor that got famous and goes undercover as a liberal journalist just to feed him questions and ruin his career.
Yeah, I like it.
Make that movie, okay? Or if you're a conservative and you're trying to make movies, all you conservatives are talking about that these days. You can take my idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great one.
All right,
here we go.
Let's listen.
Ah, wow, what a guy.
A guy?
Well, when the orange drips, it's very weird.
Is she on
to
drugs?
Have, a showbiz guy in charge is surreal. I mean, because, I'm actually pretty horrified by how strategic and effective this whole thing has been. And
accidentally complimenting
I think
the Trump
there's
admin.
a real...
He should make a campaign ad where he just cuts it right there.
I'm horrified by how effective and strategic the Trump administration
disconnect in all of the noise around the individual.
This is one of those things where you're you're about 30 seconds into this and she knows she has nowhere to go with it. And she's starting to panic.
Just digging herself
and she's
deeper
trying
and deeper.
to you have to do what Phil will do on IRL sometimes where he'll just go, nope, forgot what I was going to say. That's a beautiful thing.
Individuals that are going to be really taking the hits on a individual, a human basis in the trans community, gay community, black community, women,
the women community.
He appointed the first openly gay cabinet member and named Kash Patel the head of the FBI, so he doesn't have a problem with any minority group. You're just a lunatic, but let's continue.
Stop saying true things.
Women,
He's got more women in his cabinet than you could possibly. He literally named Pam Bondi. Okay, let's continue.
I hate violence so much, and I just think it's that's the part of it. This country's always had insanity, but to really have a death toll and be willing to do that is...
Did she say where the death toll was coming from?
No.
Okay.
A pill too great for me to swallow, beyond the sort of dialectic around oligarchs and whatever else. It's like when I think of the kids, or like the 12-year-old girl that can't get an abortion or something, or it's that's what really like rips me apart. That I so, but this is America, to quote Childish Gambino, Donald Glover.
Hello there, fellow kids.
So Granny's trying to be cool.
It's nothing we didn't know, but always a horror to see up front, and I don't know.
Yes, you do. No, you don't.
Do you think she was under the influence of something? Because she definitely seemed like spaced out to me.
Probably.
Just.
I mean, under the influence of not knowing what she's talking about.
Is she drunk on, I don't know,
Haterade,
or is she actually drunk in this video?
I mean, it's more weird that they live in a world where they're like, won't you think of the 12-year-olds who need to get abortions?
Yeah, I guess this is what keeps Natasha Lyonne up at night, is thinking about all of the 12-year-olds who should be doing their times tables, but instead they can't go out and get abortions. Thank you. Great timing. Again, we're having good luck today.
Yes. Okay.
So, obviously a lot of people were clowning on Natasha Lyonne for this video. It went viral. And she felt the need to clarify her earlier comments with even worse comments.
Impressive.
In a
bold strategy, Cotton.
Yeah, in a long post on X, she said, "Not my eloquent best, I grant you. To clarify, I meant to say that in many states now, if a young girl is raped, even by a family member, she would be forced to have that child against her will or risk going to prison longer than her perpetrator. And yeah, I think that's about the darkest way to destroy a young woman's life and autonomy. And I say that coming from a place of firsthand experience." I don't know exactly what she's referring to there. If she was pregnant at 12, but...
it's the doctors that get in trouble for performing illegal abortions.
There is too much unnecessary and violent shrapnel happening to our most marginalized groups and total fear of reprisal in speaking up. Heck, I'm scared too, but more than fear of personal ridicule, I fear the unmitigated glee of mob mentality. The kind that leads too easily to dehumanization and the disintegration of our collective moral compass. As an empath, I struggle to find the words to articulate my heartbreak for the rising toll of individual human beings presently tangled in this risky political power play. Perhaps naively, I always envisioned progress as an empowering endeavor, working towards healing and understanding, with the goal of becoming a unified nation. Are you ChatGPT? Okay, our great strength and defining characteristic ought to be in priding ourselves on protecting our most vulnerable. Oh, you mean like actual babies? Like the actually most vulnerable people in society? The unborn babies who are being mass slaughtered? Oh, not them. Okay, you meant yourself. Rather than high-fiving as we dismantle basic ethics and equality. See you next time on Showbiz Libtards with hot woke takes. But speaking as an abused kid who's lived a lot of life, both on the skids and at the top, I guess I just don't know how to stay silent despite the awareness that these days it's increasingly risky to be honest and can lead to muddled answers when caught off guard. Probably not a great sign that free speech is really free, even if a rambling, loquacious riffer like yours truly clams up in the face of a real deal question at some frothy workplace event. That's all, folks.
Is she talking about Donald Trump? Because he gives more like space to questions than any administration.
I think is trying to be self-deprecating and saying that the question caught her off guard and she just started mindlessly rambling, which we knew already and didn't need her to clarify. But this was her little creative writing exercise that she offered to clarify her earlier comments. Yeah. And, you know, abortion is a really important issue to her that occupies a lot of the forefront of her mind. And it actually comes out in not only her public political commentary, but also her work as an actress. not in American Pie, but in 2016 horror movie Anti-Birth.
Mm-hmm.
This stars Natasha Lyonne and tells the story of a woman named Lou, a hard-drinking, pill-popping, bong-ripping party girl who discovers she is pregnant with an unexplained, highly abnormal pregnancy. As her due date approaches, Lou experiences fear, paranoia, and conspiracy theories about her own pregnancy. While the film doesn't directly address the topic of abortion, it explores themes of desperation and a loss of control, which can be seen as indirectly related to the broader context of reproductive rights.
Well, as usual, I'm surprised this one came back to abortion, which is one they've kind of stayed off of since the election.
You haven't been hearing as much about that since
they've moved on to it was immigration became the case du jour once the election happened because of deportations,
right?
And human rights, the human right to live somewhere you are illegally. You know, I see these things, I laugh, I don't really care for her. Because when I hear most of it, I just think that it's somebody who's been fed thing is, most people don't understand that they're being fed a lot of this stuff, and they're kind of like it's like shooting fish in a barrel to these journalists to just feed them questions that are going to get them into trouble.
So easy.
Vibe shift or not, it's not like this sentiment is going to go away. You're going to end up somewhere in the middle with the most fervent people complaining about it. The Mark Hamills, the Rob.
There's this vibe
Reiners.
shift that I keep hearing about, and some people are not riding that wave.
I did hear that David Tennant was hosting some award show and then made Trump jokes and they just edited them out. They're like, we were pressed for time. We're editing these out.
Damn, okay.
What?
So, I mean, okay, Trump getting cheered at the Super Bowl, that's significant. ABC tells the panelists on The View that they need to cool it.
Well, he's also filing lawsuits against
remarks.
60 Minutes, and he keeps winning lawsuits.
Right,
so.
okay. But culturally speaking, then I guess David Tennant getting silenced in his anti-Trump comments.
When I see stuff like this,
it's a real thing.
I just look at it as the type of thing where it's like the real world doesn't reflect what they're saying, right? Reddit is still a hellscape of the world is coming to an end because of I don't feel safe in America anymore. It's why? Like I said, I was driving to work today and I saw a guy pulled over who was double masked. He's in his own little world. I'm in my own little world. I would make the argument that the world I'm living in is closer to reality. Is that the world I'm living in is closer to reality than the world he's living in. But certainly I nor anybody else I know is trying to stop that dude from.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, I just saw picketers the other day, 2 of them, no one else. And they were holding up signs in town. One of them said, "Diversity, equity, and inclusion are not bad words." And then the other one is about the rise of fascism or something. They were wearing masks.
They've become...
And they were all alone on this street corner.
They're buzzwords.
Protesting what?
Yeah. I'll never understand.
Again, they live in a different reality.
Whereas normal people go to work with many people, some that look like them, some that don't. Nobody really cares because normal people don't care. Equity actually is a bad word in this context because I don't think you should be cutting somebody off at the knees just to lift other people up. I believe that they would actually, the funny thing is I can say that equity is a bad word. They would say that merit is a bad word because they'd say merit is a belief that's held up by the tenets of white supremacy. But again, if that's the world you're living in 2024 America, I would say you're in a fantasy land. And you live terminally online and you don't understand how the world works, which is indicative of how celebrities are. They don't live in the real world amongst the normies or the regular people, the unwashed masses like us. So I see this stuff. She just picked her pet issue and decided that that's the one she wants to focus on. Again, she pointed out, she said somebody getting in trouble for an abortion. No, it's the doctor that gets in trouble for illegal abortions.
Well, sure, yeah. And I think that the main difference now is that the left is kind of policing itself, and I've seen several examples of people firmly on like the far left who are speaking out about the problem with their own rhetoric. Like they're telling each other, like, we need to stop scolding people. We need to stop being so annoying. We need to stop coming at people with authoritative, like maternal language. Like we need to stop school marming. It's getting really overbearing. We need to reel it back, and we need to focus on working class issues instead of pet issues that affect like 0.01% of the population who have a special identity group. Like they are self-policing right now. They are recalibrating right now. And I've noticed like a lot of these embarrassing clips of, you know, Hollywood celebrities saying things that are outlandish like this, they're not getting defended. Like they're just being like kind of thrown to the wolves at this point, and it's nice to see.
It's these are the risks that both sides run into. I would say for that, collectivism runs too deep in leftist ideology for that to stay true for too long. Like you said, they say we need our own Joe Rogan, except for the moment that they find one, they'll just yell at him and tell him that he can't be the left's Joe Rogan because he's gonna ask too many questions and be too inquisitive.
The left has a Joe Rogan. It's Joe Rogan.
The right is going to fall into purity spiraling, and they're already doing that right now. They're purity testing each other on Twitter over whatever issue it is, whether it's Elon Musk's baby daddy status, amongst any other things. But both sides, what's the saying? It's snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Both of them like to do that.
Yeah.
And I laugh at all of them.
Well, the world keeps turning.
Yep.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.